Welcome. I am Crimey Queen, and if you are joining us for the first time, it's the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. Oh, it's numerology. Can you imagine that at one time just thinking about adding numbers would have given me a headache, and I would think, wow, whoever invented this subject and compels that you learn them, what are they talking about? Now has become my love thing. My love thing. So we are talking about love. We are talking about love letter right now. So it's really the unread love letter. Is the letter that was first given to us by Mother Eve. Now, why I am deconstructing this letter, or I'm reading this letter, is because I feel the first letter in this sense is key. We have come to understand that it is key. And in fact, when we do the numerical value for key, the word key, which equals 5, that equals Mother Eve. So we see Mother Eve is the key to life. We could say that. Mother key. Well, why not? Why not? Mother Eve, I've just seen, it's just the way I've just seen my card with Eve on there while I'm saying that. Mother Eve is really key. Mother Eve has the numerical value of 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. And that coincides with the word Christ. Now, I say this periodically throughout my presentation so people really get the essence of what I'm saying. So I have like a number of words on here that equals 5. That they are words that in themselves stir our spirits to make us come alive. So, for instance, when we see the word breathe, we could not really think about our existing without breath, or without the breathe, which has breath, of course. It's just that the E behind it is, which equals 5 again, is Mother Eve's way of saying, I am there. That's another stamp of Mother Eve. I usually say that when there is the S, it's like her signature. Okay, so we have the word pink, of course, which is which is pin, but it has a K behind it, and of course PIN. The IN is the first word. The first word in the Bible from Genesis is in. The first letter here as P for pink, it equals 7, and of course K at the end of pink equals 2. That is to remind us that we are the construct of two sets of gods, which is 7 and 7. So that's the pink. In fact, some people do associate the color, the pink, with the Christ spirit as well. Okay, so the color pink comes to 23, and that is 2 plus 3 is 5. So I may not give the numerical value, but I'm just calling out words that equals 5. So key is directly 14. So in that sense, we are seeing again that we have got with key, the numerical numbers is 14, and we can see that we have devised ways of consolidating or putting things in a way that makes sense to us. So we could say 7 gods on one side of the brain and 7 on the other side. Now what has happened, we have been giving more energy to one side of the brain, and so we need to understand how to get the two sides of the brain working harmoniously together. Then that becomes 5, which means that we have found the key which is Mother Eve, or Christ, or the Kundalini, or kindness, or income. That's another thing, income, wind, joy, glory, guided, mouth is 5, made, virtue, moved. Of course, the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep. That was the first motion. Motion. I've just done the word motion as well, and that equals 5. So moved and motion equals 5. So we would see from Genesis of chapter 1 verse 2, where the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the deep. There was motion and movement marrying together, which we would say is the same, but okay. Power is 32. Now power is 32, and it comes just like Christ, saying Christ is power as well, because, and it says high. So basically, I do notice there is like a thread of in the scriptures, I'm talking about the New Testament, where there would be, I think particularly in the book of Luke, for instance, there is a time when Christ is referred to as Jesus Christ, and there's a time where you had Jesus, and there's another time you had Christ. I am not sure that Christ was referred to as Christ before the crucifixion. Now that would be something I would explore. Now another thing, like when Mother Eve spoke and said in, let's see which one of her entries of her spokeswomanship or manship, because she holds both aspects. So it's there where she said, and let the earth bring. That would be on the 7th entry of where she has got her list of to-do list, if you like, or the things to accomplish, or the sketch of what has to be given to the architects of the world. And I'm talking about Genesis, where we have discovered we had the 14 gods, and of course we are not the first human, our people, or whatever being, and so we are the result of an experiment, or some kind of whatever it is, cake. Maybe we add a sort of cake that was considered a cake in the time of Genesis. Of course, that's why we kind of kiss each other and think each other looks so delicious. Yes, there's all those aspects of those makeup that has been put in us. So that's why we also have the chatter. That's why we also have aspects of love, or we could say the 9 gifts of the Spirit. We have joy, patience, and all those virtues, the 9 virtues. But we also have the 5 talents, of course. And of course, even if the 5 talents, just figuratively, Christ gave that analogy, or the parable about 5 virgins were foolish and 5 were wise. So we see those aspects of the gods, of the 14 gods were there. The word finger, we have a God saying, oh, but I created you with my finger. That, I think that might well be the said God, which is Mother Eve, the serpent in the Garden of Eden, because of course we write with our fingers. Okay, so, and that's 41, so that would be a mirror image of Eve herself, in that sense of being 14. We have chamber, we have life. Life, of course, we would be nothing without life. There's nothing to talk about. The word sacred, which is yeah, that is 23. View, Easter, of course, which where everything derived, and that's how we got onto the sacrifice template, which is here with Mother Eve. That's the sacrifice template. And of course, as it were, Easter, we didn't talk about the resurrection. We didn't talk about the birth. What we wanted to know about the sacrifice. This is why you need to be true to yourself. Know where you're at, know what you want to learn about. And so my concern was really wanting to know about sacrifice. So we have perseverance. That's really a wonderful word. In fact, I may have to hinge upon that word because it equals 59, as Mother Eve has asked us to count backward, where we were counting, doing the whole cycle as from 1 to 9 and going back from 1 to 9 and so on. But Mother Eve, I see, I get it. So now Mother Eve is asking us to count from 5, 9, and I have it written in the same format as well. Well, similar. So 5, 9, then we go 5, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So basically, Mother Eve is making her presence felt in two areas of the numerical numbers that we have. It's like she is making a statement, and we will know much more about this. It's the two serpents, because 5 is really like the S, but it's where the snake is really ready to, you know, sort of making charge or whatever it is it does. So we've got sweat, when it said that we would sweat, but we see, of course, in the word sweat has it as well. That's another thing which is beautiful about the words. We have vine, when Christ said we are the vine, he is the vine, we are the branches. Again, there is a hierarchical thing that is put on that kind of parable. But branches, let's just do branches. I don't think Christ was all about this at all. You are the branches. Branches, and I don't know why I'm getting a biological image of synaptic nerves or something like that in my mind. Okay, so 9, 1, 5, 3, 8, 5. And of course at the end of it is like making a statement of Mother Eve's presence. So let's count this. This is 10, 10, this is 20. My eyes dance like this. 28, 29, 34. So branches is really 7. 34 is 7. So basically Christ is saying, because vine is 5 and we are talking about 7. We have seen this is where Christ or Jesus Christ is 7. So when we add Jesus and Christ together, that is 7. But we have seen how we are 7. As I have explained, we are of those 7, the constructs of 14 gods, and created on the 7th day. What has also transpired as well, we are of 6 entities. We are of 6 entities, but that means that there are 7 gods, but 6 entities, because we were created on the 6th day. That's how we learn it, on the 6th day. In fact, I need to also double check, because since we have discovered 2 sets of creation as well, there might be a discrepancy on that, which I need to double check. But however, when we hear about the day of rest, that is included, and that is why as well I believe the Sabbath was something mentioned to get us to reflect and actually play out that part. So that part of you're not creating, you're not working, you are meditating or whatever else that the 7 does. The 7 takes the 7th day. You can see its posture. It is very proud, and it looks around. Its head is really stern. No sort of real much softness to it. It's really grounded in a sense, and it looks around to see, well, what have I done, or see what I have done, you know, see the wonderful works that I have done. And of course, that's why we are always praising God about the wonderful works he has done. That's the God who has put that seed in us to praise him for the wonderful works that he had made. So we have the word bring. Of course, as I've said, the word double is very crucial. That I have talked about that. That really tells us that we are always in double. Hence the word W, or the letter W. This is not by chance we have W. There were very, very wise minds have come together to teach us about ourselves. Just that we have not been taught in a way that perhaps we were not ready, and thinking and hoping that while we are on this path, we are ready. So the word cell, for instance, our cells, like in our cells, and I just mentioned about the synaptic nerves as well. So, which has 2 L's in it, and that is 14. So stars, which we are, open, to open and to shut, both equals 5, and ended or end equals 5. To the word made equals 5, and men equals 5. We see men is actually new. That's where men are called to be new. That's what Paul always talked about renewing our minds. It's that as if we need to be renewing our contract for life by, in this sense, activating our pineal gland and really paying attention to the lifestyle that we live. Now the word wrong equals 32, which is in direct par with Christ. Perhaps a lot of people would just want to debunk, or want to, well, I use the word debunk, but would thrash out numerology only on this point, that Christ and the word wrong being on the same numerical value would seem very contrasting. So I think that would be enough to get some people saying, well, you know, this is just, doesn't make much sense. Okay, so it's just to give you a flavor of words, but one word that really got me feeling very excited about this, because it's the pyramid, and I got a list of words, of course, through that exercise. See if I've got it here with me. And I was very amazed to see the amount of beautiful words that came out of that, and which also has the letter A in the middle of it. I think it also consists of 7 letters. So basically, we are seeing that number 5 is really key, which, as we say, when we get to understand the numerical constructs of the letters, like we have been talking about the love letter, the L in particular here, the A, or even with the word letters, I think there is more to the teller. We have letter and teller. I think those words have a lot to offer. We have, in letter, we have the master number 22. We also have 59, which I was talking about. I think Mother Eve, like I'm talking about letter, it has pointed my attention to pay attention to the letter with the 59, which she is asking us to count backward. So I can sense that there probably will be another template that we may have to make reference to or create with those numbers that Mother Eve is beckoning us to look at. So we see motions. I just want to say motion equals 5, lines equals 5, and 3, and points equal 3, because we got this because we found out that the first letter Mother Eve mentioned, which was L, has 3 aspects to it. It has motion, it has lines, 2 lines in 2 different directions, and it has 3 points. We can see that here. and we add this together, that really tells us that there is 6. It's like it encapsulates the 6 entities or whatever it is that we are constructs of. Let's call them intelligences, because we do want to think well of them. After all, they're in our makeup. So I think I need to begin to that alone is sufficient to let us know the magnitude of the workmanship that we are created. Yes, workmanship, that sounds a very fitting word, because it's about relationship, friendship, all the ships, like in the Matrix. So to know that you have 6, you are the makeup of 6 different entities who have the ability to take a rest, I suppose, but they probably will be just taking there's the thing about the shift as well. So it means that we'll have to get a way of organizing certain shift, so they take their day of rest. So they have their day of rest within our makeup as well. So it means that we have the ability to silence one at any given time. Yes. And so, but it just makes us realize that there is so much to us, and it does make us realize that we need to honor this which we are, whether it's from our bodies, our spirit, our minds, but to really embrace that and really honor that which we are. It makes me feel good to have that understanding about my makeup. So so we have looked at branches. Let's see, did I add branches? Yes, that came to 7. And so we talked about, we were about let and the lines and so on. So it's the love letter. So we see it's 6. It is 6. Now if we have letter or letters on the teller is 7 and the letter is 8. When added together, they form number 15, which coincide with the set God. When we do the numerical value for the set God, not these numbers here because I was doing something else here, the set God equals 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So we can see that Mother Eve is not only the teller or the letter. Okay, that's the love letter. And of course, we have seen how we become the 8-petal flower in the second, number 2. I did that. That's when we find out we are the W. We have the W here. So the W can be the 3. It can be E. It can be M. And it can be E. Well, 3. All right. And hence, I will say again, this is where the poet, or who in the Psalms, in Ecclesiastic, says man is like a flower that blooms and is beautiful one day, and is the wind carries it and fades away the next day. So basically, this is the message that requires us to readdress our contract with Mother Eve, the gods, by going through those cycles, familiarizing ourselves with the cycles. There are 3 cycles of 369, 369, 369. So it's like here again, it's as if the gods, or the makeup of the 6 that we are, have seemed to, of course, over time. It's like more you become familiar with someone, more you get to know them, more you become, you build a more harmonic relationship. So the 6 gods in that sense seem to have had working together with each other, the 6 makeup that we are. And so they are like partners. So there's partnership. Nothing happens without partnership. And so that partnership have 3 sections of the 369, 369, 369. So that means the 3 sets of 369 have in them their partners. It's like you and I, or W. And the 3, of course, in itself is that's the start of the cycle, tells us exactly what entails there. In the second column of any of the 3 tells us that there is 4 you. There is 3 you, 4 you, 9 yous. No. Oh, I've got to do this. Okay. I'll just do this now. So 3 tells us. So 4 yous. 4 you is this. Okay. So that's where the puppies on the wall thing, you could say that. So this is 4 you. Okay. Whenever you hear someone saying 4 you, it's your north, south, east, and west, but that is always mirrored with somebody else. So there's 4 you. There would be 2 you. 2 you is 3 as well. Okay, that's something I'm going to work around and see what messages Mother Eve is giving us around that. Well, just to wrap this up, this one here, I'll see, give you another few words. I think that comes around on 5. Have I got anything right here? What about 5? Okay, we know we have 5 oceans and we have 5 senses. And just to recap as well, we have 6 senses which ties in perfectly with the fact, I say fact according to the scriptures, what we do understand mathematically, of the 6 constructs that we the 6 that make up the construct of what we are, who we are, whatever, person, people, which is number 6, as well the Genesis that we are. So that 6th sense coincides perfectly with when it is said 6 is the number of man. I think that's a nice one to really yes. Okay. And perseverance. I'm going to persevere. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and for stopping by and checking us out, and hopefully that you have got something wonderful, that you are taking something wonderful. And if you have any points or comments, please feel free to leave your comments, and like, subscribe, and share. Because this is how we do it. We share to actualize in self-full love. Stay bliss-filled, be a-filled, be ignited, because we are planting new seeds, and spill over with love. Namaste.